Greetings and salutations, this is Kung Pao, enter the minute, minute 9. Opening frame. The Chosen One's foot slightly blurrier and more retracted. The kick from the Chosen One sends his attacker flying backwards, landing hard on their chest. The muscled attacker giggles as he runs towards the Chosen One, who in return seems to go for a punch, but instead grabs his attacker's face to spin around in the air for some reason. Upon landing, the Chosen One starts attacking the Muscle Man's clothing, pawing at it like some sort of rabid animal, even tussling the poor man's hair. We cut away to reveal that the Chosen One has turned his suit into a furry bikini top and shorts, the embarrassment causing the Muscle Man to cover himself up and run away. After a couple of shots of the Chosen One, we cut back to the fight, where his attackers start to rush him again. But this time, he jumps backwards, spins in the air, and kicks himself off a nearby wall. The narrator tells us,
through his adversity, he learned to fight.
Leaping through the air, the Chosen One returns back to the fray, stepping on some heads on the way past. The Chosen One spins through the air before finally doing some sort of weird spinning kick as he lands, knocking all his attacks to the ground. As his attackers stand back up, they notice that their adversary has disappeared. However, this is only for a brief moment as the Chosen One breaking through a nearby concrete tablet, elevating himself up into the sky before Karate Kid kicking one of the foes in the face. The Chosen One retreats back down into the Holy Immerstrom, and as his remaining assailants go towards their fallen companion, the Chosen One once again flies up from another nearby hole. One of the assailants that is closest makes a charge at the Chosen One, who pulls back a fist ready to strike at the man's chest, punching a hole straight through. As the assailant staggers in disbelief, along with the rest of his group, the narrator exclaims,
I mean, crap, man. Look at that.
The assailant drops to the ground, seemingly dead. The group turns around and flees, as the Chosen One stands by and lets them leave. As we enter the closing frame, we see the Chosen One in a field left of screen as it's cross-dissolving from the previous scene, with the narrator saying,
That's like his stomach plug on the ground back there. You don't see that every day.
So there we go, our first action scene with adult Chosen One, showing off some really kind of bizarre fighting styles. Yeah, so this once again is completely all new footage. I think it's only after the big brawl scene do we finally get some recycled footage. However, this does match, maybe not precisely some of the older footage, because this is a location that's not seen in what I presume in the original film, but the look and the feel is really tight to the rest of the movie, which is not a small accomplishment. They definitely had to either build this or found a good location that really does match those aesthetics. And there's actually a couple of shots in the sequence that looked like it came straight out of the Jimmy Wang Yu playbook in regards to some of the cinematography in the original footage. Cinematographically speaking, the color matches look right, the shot composition look kind of right. I think it does a really good job. I think this is the first scene in the movie that is actually showing that they're trying to mimic this style. Even though there's no connected tissue to the older movie that we know of, it actually works incredibly well. And this is all down to just that pure attention to detail. And then you get something as ridiculous as the stump. I'm sorry, I love that stuff. Just this plug of meat that just drops to the ground. It looks fake. Of course it looks fake. How do you make that look real without it being, well, for starters, covered in blood? Or lumpy or chunky? It's just a clean sphere. It looks like it came out of a tin. And I love that. It's a small detail if you're not really paying much attention. Someone kicks the stump and it wobbles. I love it. I love this film. You can clearly tell that this movie was made with a lot of love. Someone put in a lot of detail, even if it's just something as stupid as someone kicking a little stump. It's great. And for those who haven't watched it, I'm not going to spoil what happens to this guy later on. So that kind of also brings us to the idea of the body doubling in this movie. Steve Vanderkirk he's a fit dude in this movie. He's clearly jacked. He's still not a fighter. So he has to be body doubled in a lot of shots where there's actual martial arts techniques. There's probably insurance reasons why this guy could not do a lot of the stunts he probably wanted to do. But either way, it works pretty well. It's very standard action movie scene, fighting, quick cutaways, stuff like that. There's some good intentional blocking to hide any kind of things, I don't think it was really necessary, because when you think about it, there are scenes where you can see that Steve Odekirk did learn some moves, and that's probably later on in the movie, but I think they were deliberately trying to mimic the style of the martial arts genre, so, cut away to the hits and attacks, stuff like that. It works very well. Also, this is a movie that has a lot of digital replacement, so you could probably turn around and say, well, why didn't they just do it on the loose shots? Money. I'm going to say it's probably cost them a lot of money. If they can get away with not having to digitally impose Steve Odekirk's head onto Jimmy Wang Yu's body, they're probably going to do it. That's it. You're not going to probably bother to superimpose his head onto a stuntman when they can shoot around it. It's surprising how many of these shots you can see Odekirk, and especially in, I think the next scene is the big fight scene. The one thing that this scene sets up, and you get a lot more of it later on as well, is the crazy limbs. Speaking of body doubling, they literally have body double parts. They got double the body part. I don't know how to make that sound funny. Yeah. Either way, the Chosen One is able to punch and kick, or mostly kick, in with... Bones don't move like that. Joints don't move like that. It's funny. There's one fight scene, I think it's in the big brawl. It's clearly somebody off camera holding a dummy leg and hitting a guy in the back of the head. It's amazing. It's just all part of the fun. It's all part of the comedy of this movie. It is early on, they're setting up this expectation that, dumb stuff is going to happen. I absolutely love the rabid rodent attack style on the big muscular guy and turning his suit into a bikini. It's so stupid. Again, the muscular guy having the squeaky, effeminate voice is, again, that feels like a very Monty Python-esque kind of trope. It just works. It's just a bit of fun. If he had the big gruff voice, it would have worked, but this wouldn't be as funny. And that guy's name is Woon. That is a cool name, Woon. So anyway, let's move on to the audio commentary. Steve and Paul give a shout out to Steve Wang, the unaccredited second unit director.
Wonderful. He's great, and he really stuck to that, that core feel of how these things were shot.
Because he went out in second unit and literally blocked it like an old scene, and then we came back in and did our punch-ins.
And we got some pretty funny reviews about, the lighting not being up to snuff and the dubbing being bad.
And the editing being bad.
It's like, could you have more not gotten it?
And your point. And why is it so stupid? Why?
So we went,
because
we went so out of our way to do all of that. And make sure that it was very raw and not wonderfully lit, and we had to match the old footage.
So here we are with another minute of the What Are They Really Saying section that doesn't have anything to do. There's no dialogue being spoken, it's all fighting. There's no ADR. The narrator says things, that's about it. So that's, once again, nothing really to talk about. However, we get to the audiobook and we get this gem.
That's like his stomach plug on the ground back there. You don't see that every day.
So thanks again for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. If you have someone you don't like and you just want them to waste 10 minutes of their life listening to some idiot dribble on about a movie they've probably never watched, then send them this. Why not? If you actually thought this is worth something, then throw me some money via Ko-fi. That joke's never going to get old until someone actually tells me the proper pronunciation. It's only $3.50 American, I believe. So it's like buying me a coffee. I mean, it's like buying me a coffee. It's probably going to get $2 of that is going to be taken out of fees and exchange rates. But no, it's still like it's still like $1.50. That's like $1.50 I didn't have before. Alternately, there's also Patreon. All the links are down below. For as little as $1, you can get some advanced releases of this and maybe some other stuff when I can get around to making it. I'm currently making a rookie costume, so that takes up most of my time. It's taken a long time, but I'm getting there. I've almost started the sleeves. That's progress, I guess. Check me out on Facebook. This gets posted to SoundCloud and YouTube. So whichever one of the experiences, either audio and or visual, you can go check it out there. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.